Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger. And my friends, in today's video, we're talking about Happy Chaos, and we're talking, well, about the gun. Because the gun is the unique thing that makes Happy Chaos go, and there's nothing quite like it in Guilty Gear Strive, or really in fighting games in general. This whole mechanic's pretty crazy, and I'm here to break it down in full. So, sure enough, gun, hit button, shoot bullet. That part's easy enough to understand, right? But there's a lot more to it than just the surface level. Now, as you're probably well aware, Happy Chaos has two separate resources to work with. He has the focus gauge, and while the focus gauge is up, this was what lets him aim the gun. And when you shoot, it depletes the gauge, and also the bullets. And when you shoot a bullet, spoiler, it takes a bullet out. That stuff is simple enough on paper, the 2 meters, so we'll just kind of move on past that for now. The things to talk about first is the actual reticule. So the reticule, when you first use it here, as you can see, it kind of is not locked on immediately, right? It takes a split second to find the host, or the target as it were, right? And that's not always the easiest thing to do because target can move around and it'll do its best to track, but it's certainly not infallible. So if you have the gun pulled out and the target's running, there's a very realistic chance you'll miss a lot of your shots. Now, every time you do shoot, even if the target is running, it'll try to require after the initial shot. So sometimes, even if they're running and you happen to just frankly, spam the bullet, there you go. You might get lucky, but that's kind of the key word there. Get lucky. Now, Happy does have a few things to help out. Quarter circle forward punch shoots this little magic ball and basically debuffs the enemy. And while that debuff is live, the tracking gets better, but it is not infallible, as you can see. While it's live and the enemy's running, the tracking will still be a little bit behind the enemy that's moving, although it'll be a lot closer. So it's not infallible, but if you're trying to hit a moving target, it can definitely work out. Couple that with the fact that quarter circle forward punch, that move, is unblockable. So no matter what they do, if it touches them, the debuff is applied. So it's pretty easy to get on overall. Steady aim, that's quarter circle back and slash. This is the other gunshot, the big gunshot as it were. The aiming's a bit better. The lock on, it still takes a split second to lock on, but once they start moving, once it's locked on, it's pretty much locked on. There's no getting away from it. The only thing is it drains the bar at a dramatically higher pace than the regular gunshot. The regular gunshot, you can sit without shooting a bullet for a good long while. Steady aim, not so much. Maybe a second and a half, 2 seconds at most. Also, I feel it should be said, no matter how much you happen to be holding back, you cannot block while in either gun stance. So now let's get into the nitty gritty of one of the factors here in the bullet itself. Now it could be the base shot here, it could be the big fancy shot, but here's the thing. We'll turn on our input display so you can see what's going on here. The bullet itself is what we call a negative edge move, meaning it's not when you press the button, but rather when you let go of the button. So you can see here, I'm now holding heavy slash. Nothing's happening. Nothing's going on. If I were to hit slash, even if I hold it, the move comes out immediately, right? But for heavy slash, the bullet only comes out when I let go of the button. Not 1 second before. So if you're mashing, then you're obviously letting go of the button really quick, right? But it is a negative edge move, so it's just something to keep in mind because it can change how you might want to do combo structure. Like something like his dust. We all know he can shoot from his dust, right? That's one of the beauties of the gun is even if you happen to be in the recovery of a move, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be basic normal, it could be command normal, whatever it is, you can shoot during pretty much any given point. The only move that seems to have any exception to that is a roll. You can only shoot during the end of a roll. But other than that situation, during any point, you can shoot somebody, right? And conversely now, if you're holding the button, at any point you just let go of the button, and then the shot happens. So I can do this. I can go dust, hold the button, and you see here, I'm in the gun stance, right? So dust, hold the button, then let go of the button. So when I first started, I was double tapping, enter stance, shoot again, right? And it caused a little bit of inconsistency sometimes, right? But if I just do dust, hold the button, let go, I get the same result I want every single time. And that's a nice little launcher that you can combo from. The thing about the bullet as well is it's instant. There is no travel time. It either hits or misses, depending on the reticule, the frame you let go of the button. So if I'm holding the button here and I let go right away, the frame I let go is the frame you shoot. So you could conceivably have, like, you know, depending on how fast you can press and unpress a button, right? You can have like frame 1, frame 2, frame 3 instant projectiles that just, you know, can't be dealt with other than maybe a little bit of RNG, depending if your reticule is on them or not. So knowing this makes the bullet very strong. It's also not a traditional projectile. Something like Zato's oppose move. Now, normally, other projectiles, what this would do is, well, it's like Happy Chaos's clone, right? It can absorb hits, and it would absorb the projectiles trying to come and try to hit Zato. However, in the case of Happy Chaos, nah, it just doesn't work the same way. It'll still knock out Eddie, knock out the oppose, but it hits Zato anyways. So what I'm trying to say here once again is it's its own special kind of projectile. Like, you can't reflect it with Drunkard Shade. That's not happening. Potemkin cannot flick it back. It's just not a projectile in the same way projectiles tend to work in this game. So a lot of anti-projectile moves do not work against the bullet shot. One thing to note here about bullets as well is if you're looking to get a lot of range shots in and of themselves, leave them as singletons. Why is that? Well, look here. So 29 damage against Soul, and yes, he has better than average defense, but 29 damage. And if I were just to dump on him, that's 5 shots here, 67 damage. So that first hit is almost half of all that damage. If I were to get 2 hits in, the second shot scales to 12. That is less than half of the amount of damage. So if you're looking to get the most bang for your buck, as it were, right, you're better off just going for singletons, as the poke damage is much more significant. Say we get, I don't know, 3 or 4 pokes in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at Soul's health. That's, like, obviously not a lot, but that's not insignificant for a full screen, potentially frame 1 poke, right? A poke that can't be avoided. Either he was already blocking or he gets hit, or if he's moving, maybe the reticle misses or whatever. But still, the damage as a poke that you can do anywhere, like you can be super jumping at the top of the screen, it'll still hit immediately, right? You can be running, it'll hit immediately. You can be backdashing, it'll hit immediately, right? The fact that it happens anywhere and hits instantly makes it decent as a poke, but just don't go crazy, because your resources are limited, your concentration bar and your bullets are valuable, and when you go a bit more crazy, you're more prone to missing for one, and the damage gained is not that much. Now, another important thing about the gun is gun canceling. This is both for the regular gun and the steady aim shot as well. So say we're doing a combo, and combos for the most part are sort of easy, at least at the start. Later on they can get a little more tricky, but like close slash, forward kick, which is a natural combo in and of itself, and then we'll do quarter circle forward slash, which is getting the gun ready in the gun stance, right? If you do the normal gun ready, there's no hit associated with it. But if you do quarter circle forward slash, that gun raise is a launcher. So say I want to get that twice in one combo. First part's easy enough, but you know, I have my gun up, so I can't do that normally. So what I have to do is cancel my gun in the middle right after the launcher, and then redraw my gun. And that's very doable. And then you can get a second launch, rejuggle. I haven't burned any bullets yet, right? So I can keep my combos going. And there you have it. Now we got all of a sudden a bit of a combo. We got 2 launchers out of it. Didn't have to burn the bullets. We did burn some bullets, yes. But we got the whole thing, corner carry, wall splat, and we managed to get the super at the end. That kind of stuff is possible knowing exactly how much you have to work with the cancels, because otherwise that combo wouldn't have worked if I didn't get 2 of these guys in one combo, which was only possible thanks to the cancel. Now there's more than that too, so we have steady aim, right? That has cancels as well, although not the same cancel. If you hit down heavy slash, you're just going to shoot the bullet, so that's not going to work quite the same way. But what you can cancel it with is stuff like a roll. You can cancel it with a clone. You can cancel it with your concentration builder. You can cancel it with the fart ball toss. Pretty much any special move you can cancel with it. And that also can help lead the combos. So we're going to use a similar-ish style combo from before. So same starter here. Close slash, forward kick into gun uppercut to launch. So what we're going to do different here is after that launcher, we're going to do forward kick into the steady aim stance. And then we're going to shoot him. All right, we did that. Is that the end of the combo? We could just shoot him some more. Like, that'll work. But we can get a little more fancy with it. Wouldn't you know it? So we just took that gun stance here, we shot our bullet, and then we canceled the stance into the roll, leaving us in the regular gun stance, and we could re-combo from there. That's very interesting. So once we re-combo from there, we can pull out the gun a second time in steady aim stance. And now we have a wall splat. And from there, we have kind of multiple enders, because once again, we can cancel the gun stance. So with that ender specifically, what I did was I regained some of our concentration, because obviously we burned a lot of concentration during the combo. Conversely, after that last aim and last gunshot, I can cancel that into reload and get bullets back, or I can just go right into a super. And the super also, in case you're unaware, always refills all your bullets, plus giving you more damage, like over half health on soul is certainly not bad, right? So there's just a lot you can do with the cancels. It gives you a lot of freedom, both in the regular gunshot and the steady aim gunshot. So I would highly suggest just to play around and see what's possible for you. And finally, I want to talk about some of the reticule stuff, because this is stuff the game is not going to tell you. You can go in the command list all you want. It's not going to teach you this stuff here. So, obviously enough, when you first pull up the gun, it doesn't know what's going on, and it'll like lock on from just a random spot, right? And go from there. But there's a bit of a whiff/hit bonus system. So, if I whiff a jab here, see that? It just completely resets everything. So I'm penalized for whiffing a move, for sure. And the thing is, there's a flip side to that, and if I hit, I basically get an accuracy bonus. So one of the best ways to show this is the roll. So you are allowed to shoot right after the roll. That's great. But the problem is, since you're quote-unquote whiffing the move, right, it resets the reticule, and sometimes, well, that bullet, it can hit sometimes, right? And other times, it'll just go into the air you completely missed. But one of the things is, if you can apply a hit before you go into the roll, it'll basically give that on-hit accuracy bonus, and then all of a sudden, your roll will never miss at the end of the move. You will always be able to get it. On hit or on block, you will get this accuracy bonus. It doesn't matter. It'll just hyper lock in, and it will stay locked in, even if you do another move that quote-unquote whiffs, like the roll. So if you're going for roll mix-ups, it is heavily to your benefit to make sure the enemy blocks, at least blocks. If it hits, great, awesome, right? But make sure they at least block something, and then you can get your little bit of a roll mix-up from there. And roll being roll, if you hit from far enough away, you'll remain same side, right? So it's up to you to get like the perfect spacing. What side am I going to be on? Who knows? And if you do it right, even you won't know what side you're going to be on. That's the perfect kind of roll mix-up. So keep that in mind once again here. If you whiff something, you'll get basically an accuracy penalty while you have the gun out. And if you connect on hit or on block, you'll get an accuracy bonus to the next shot you do. And all that, my friends, is basically the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot to talk about. Happy Chaos is a very complex character on multiple levels, to say the least. So look forward to the channel. There'll be more Happy Chaos content coming up. The combo guide coming very soon. The big tips and tricks guide, that'll be coming also quite soon. Because we talked a bit, but man, there's just so much more. Until then, I'm going to give you the ultimate, never to be beaten secret tip. So if you want to just mess around, go in training settings, go to character specific settings, set concentration and ammunition to infinite, and then you can just shoot the gun as much as you want. I'm sure it's fun. Just do it. Just do it. It's fun just to hit the button and shoot a lot. Do it at least once is what I'm saying. But other than that, my friends, well, that's the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Guilty Gear.